Hi, so this tutorial is going to be about creating dies for Baldur's Gate 3 in the toolkit. So make a project if you haven't got one already. So calling it test dies just because I've already got the other ones. My custom dies and the NPC dies. So the level we want to really test this in is technically basic level A. If you're going to add it to the tutorial chest, then you would load up the tutorial level, but mostly I test in here just to make sure the actual items spawn. If I spawn the actual bag, I put them in. Now if you've downloaded the template that I made on Nexus Mods, I'll show you how to do that, but first you do have to create a project like we just did and then quit the toolkit so the game can then load our files. So this is where the template is under my BG3 tutorials, templates and modding resources. It's called P4 Dies Toolkit template. This is a little template for use with the official BG3 toolkits. And well, this is the video that I'm making to go along with the tool template, and it includes previews. So here I've already got downloaded it on unzipped. So just change it to. So this is an example of the item combos in the not UUID, the stats editor. This is what the dies view looks like with my template for the item combos. And then for the object, as you can see, some of these are colored. And then the treasure table, I've already set that up for the basic stuff that you want. If you're like me, you might forget stuff. So what we want to first do is copy the config folder, and I actually did include text files just in case you want to read them. So we want to put it on our game directory, Baldur's Gate 3 data editor folder. So we copy that to here. And because we've not got anything already named that, it will not ask to override. And then where to put the stats folder. So again, game directory Baldur's Gate 3, data editor mods, mod name. And this is why we wanted to actually create the mod first and then do this. So mods, so test dies, and then in here. Okay, now we've got the template set up. We'll just double check it's working. I can already see by these drop downs being there that they are showing up. Okay, now if we drop down from this, we can then see the dies. If you want to actually save the default, I'll give it a different name and save, because then otherwise you can't actually switch between them, which is a bit off at the moment. See, now I can actually swap between them, but if I'd swap between that and the original default, it don't put the original files there. So again, just for easier switching. See, on mine I hide the value UUID, but you might want to show that here and then save over the original one that I made. So this gives you the base value of the item that you are making. I've added a line for a container if you want to make a container. If you don't, you can get rid of this line and just leave the die line. And then we've got the die line here. Again, if you want to save the default look, it's easy to switch between. Okay, so now we know that they're all as they should be. Let's go and create our die first. So assets, characters, oh, shared assets, characters, sorry, and die colors. So pick one of these, whichever one you want to pick. You can even open it up just to check the colors first. As you can see, this one doesn't have accent where the last one we just did does. So you can always add that in to the one you make if you want to use it as a base. Let's right click, create new from selected. I do suggest having a prefix or something you can easily search for, because in a second when we test it on a character's outfit already, then just so it's easier to search on areas that we might need to search for it. So mine would be P4 for Padme 4000. Okay, going for like a blacks mixed with greys and stuff. So okay, 01. We can always change this name after if we want. Okay, vector 3. Can just double check that. Keep that up. Yep, with the OR spelling rather than OUR. But you will find some do actually have the OUR spelling. So these extra parameters are ones that I add for my dies. You don't have to. But I do suggest adding the glow colours at least. So you get your colours onto the adamantine armour, so the glow changes on that, and anything else that has a glow would then update as well. The rest of these are more for supporting modded outfits. You would do the same by going to plus and then vector 3 and these. This list will be in the description if you want to use that list. Actually, we'll add accent colour to it since it's not on every vanilla die, only a few. Okay, so we'll keep that up. I'll just minimize it. Open rather than up. Okay, that looks like a good one to test on. So we went, oh sorry if I went a bit too fast. So we went to the Gustav character visuals and then I chose the Tiefling 000_712 because the armor seems to be a good one that we can test on. So get this back up. We'll link the program that I'm using to pin these with and in the description, sorry. Sorry if my voice sounds off, I've got a bit of a cold. So this is where the prefix comes in handy because I can type P4 and then get my die up. So presets, color, use this, and find your die, double click, and it'll load the die. So obviously at the moment this is mostly the vanilla colors that are already on it. So cloth primary on that one I presume is going to be the color here. As you can tell, it's a bit different to that. Now if you want to copy one-to-one a hex from an existing die that you've got, so say you want to choose one from when you're not made in Toolkit yet, then copy it into here rather than here. This already adds the FF to it, which adds a bit of a colouring to it. So you could even use this to change it. Well, let's just have a test what that looks like. Yeah, so it was that section. So that actually does look nice with the oranges, but let's make it a bit more festive looking, I suppose. Okay, now I do actually like that darker brown. Let's make that a bit more on the orange side. Okay, so now if we were to change the top, so let's look for plate, because that way we can test the metal a bit more. You can see there's actually a red here. I'm not sure if that's actually texture based, but this is now showing the silver with the like copper, and I'm pretty sure some of the gold in there as well. Now that could actually be added color, which we could always test. Oh, it's actually our accent color. Can double check that's the accent color. changing it to bright blue. Yep, that's our accent colour showing there. So you can see sometimes it goes very fine details, the accent colour. The actual red did actually look pretty good with it though. So just stick that brightness. Yeah, okay. So if we're happy then with that, could keep it like that. And then if you want to make another die and you want to use another as a preset, let's go and look. Type in die. You have some presets here as well. So even draw presets. So it gives you that even to start off as a base, where then you could go in here and then click, no, I want that as a red as well. And then not to make sure to tick all these first, otherwise it's not going to show the changes. Let's make that more of a dark. See, it's actually showing live as well when we do it in here, rather than having to click save first, because it is the live edits. Custom. Okay, and also if you want to reuse some of these colors as a base, so color palette, let's go for a new one. Die, or whatever name you want to call it. Put it in here. Okay, let's do the same for some of these because we like these as a base for some of the other colors. And then save preset into our folder. So this is where we would override. I've never tested this myself because I don't want to accidentally do it. So let's call this one purple draw, because we use the draw as a base, so I'll just use that as a reminder. So now we've got two dies. Oops. You click one too many times. So I'm pinning again. As you can see, I've got the extras in here. So if I wanted to add support for them in here as well, then I would go about doing it this way, just so it's a bit quicker. As you can see, it's not even got the color 1, 2, and 3 in here, which will, more than a few outfits actually use these vectors and parameters. Okay, as you can see, it's now 1 to 1. Press OK on that one. GlowColor, and let's go for that one. Let's make it brighter. Custom free. So it's got them colors. Let's put that in. Let's use a mixture of these as well for these. Okay. So now what we want to do is create a root template for our die. So we need two. So let's go and do that. I'm going to click load to load the presets, root templates even. Use any as a starting point. So we want to do create inherited from selected. This is in the off chance that something gets updated in the base dies, then it also automatically updates if your die, if it's something you've not touched. So it won't update your name or anything like that that you create, but anything like base information, then it will automatically update. So they call it loot. I know calling it usually object die prefix again because it's easier to find in our searching. And call that black 01. Oh yeah, I did actually do a test one already just to make sure it was working, everything okay. So we'll keep that one and then do our purple draw create. You want to create more than one, so say I didn't actually make this one already, we would then create more, and then it'll let us create a second one. I can actually do an example. So this then tells you, oh, that one already exists because we just made it. So let's call it just black, because I can delete that one, the example that I made, because I'm going to go through it again. And then I can actually go back in here and actually name it 01 if I want to. So add a 01 to here, display name. I usually do this for my prefixes, P4, and then what it is, die, and then the name. Midnight. What colours did we go for? Oh, midnight pumpkin. I take a long time to name my things normally, and they still don't always have best of names. Okay, law is the description. So this die is inspired by autumn and Halloween with greens, browns, and blacks. Got some reds as well. Now I make custom icons, which then I would assign via here, which you'd go to here. Okay, so it would show you custom atlas here, then you'd select it and select the one you want to use. You might want to just use a vanilla die icon, which in case you can go through these, so which one you want to choose. Okay, and then up here we want to link it to our die. So our prefix, which is why I said to use the prefix. So P4 again, purple drow. Again, icon if you want to change that for that. Okay, now setting up a container. Bag. There, that's the proper one. Container bag A. Okay. Okay. P4 dies bag. Yeah, okay. Description contains and dies from P4. Now for our file setup, because we need to do that before we attach the treasure table to here. So copy name, go to our object, paste that into here because it's the container, the container shared, root template, so P4 bag, and that's the basic setup for that one. I can already set up one of the dies here. Okay. No, didn't copy the name properly. Okay, make sure it's selected before copy name to clipboard. And then we can do it for here as well. I did copy name and grid done, I think. Yeah, I did. Copy these. Find the die again. Okay, I'm going to keep that the same. That's the same. Min amount and max amount. it's infinite use, so don't really want it spawning like 5 of the same die at once. Now we've got this one sorted, we can go back to here quick. Okay, like I said, if it starts getting some weird colours on this side, it's not showing up things properly, just switch between views. Treasure. Okay, where it says empty, now we want to go P4. Oops, not set up the actual treasure table yet. So this is if you want it for the tutorial chest. So if you want it for the bag, we'd have to copy the name of the bag there, and then copy this examples, save, otherwise it's not going to detect our changes. There we are. Okay, we want it that, we don't want it empty. So now this bag will show whatever we put inside the treasure table on that side. So just drag this and put it down to here so I can easily copy the names. And because we want it in the same container, we add substat. That means it appends to the same thing. Now we copy these, copy that to the end. And now the tutorial chest should have the dies spawn, and then the bag of the dies spawn, and then the bag itself should contain our 2 dies. Now let's finish setting this up. So paste that into there, start a new line, make these 2 match. Okay. Copy grid into here. Again, copy grid into here. Now, if you want it to be consumed on use, so that it's not infinite use, you would change none to consume, but most people will set that to none, so it's infinite use die. Okay, now they're all set up, we can test. So if you had the level loaded, we should now go into this mode. Oh, yep. Make sure to press yes when it does it, means something's not been saved in our root templates. F11 to bring this up, create P4 because that was the reason to make it easier to find the bag. 1, enter now. There we have it. Yep, that one's working. Yep, and that one's working. Showing our names and the descriptions. So the descriptions do end up underneath the combine this diving equipment item. So it's the small writing rather than the big writing. So let's bring up F11 again. Create let's try half plate body. Okay, so actually auto equipped it. Yep, and that's them working on that. Now, if you want to add it as a one-time reward, which means it will spawn in the traveler's chest in camp. Let's go about setting that up. We want the UUID object editor, get this smaller, pin it, go down to one-time rewards plus, copy our grid from our bag to the container. Okay, so we want to make the amount it spawns 1, and a good thing about one-time rewards is that if you play multiplayer, not multiplier, it'll spawn 1 to each traveler's chest that is in camp. So you can all have your own dice, have your own items that you use in the one-time reward. And yeah, so basically like in tutorial chest, you only get the 1. This guarantees that every single player that's in the match will get their own version of that item. Okay, that is it for this tutorial. I hope it helped. Thank you very much for watching.